In a world constantly chasing speed, there lies a dwelling designed not for extravagance, but for presence. A house that does not scream to be noticed, but rather whispers to be felt. Welcome to the Silent Fold, a residence nestled within a natural cradle, shaped by the subtle tension between material strength and spiritual softness. This design is not merely about structure, it is about a pause, a deliberate invitation for the mind to retreat from noise and surrender to silence. As we unfold its story, you will see how minimalism becomes more than an aesthetic. It becomes a vessel for peace, introspection, and elemental harmony. The core idea behind the Silent Fold is based on the principle of subtractive architecture, removing what is unnecessary until what remains feels inevitable. Inspired by both Eastern wisdom and contemporary restraint, the design carves out its identity by erasing clutter and embracing emptiness. The building is not filled with things, but with meaning. Each space is a quiet affirmation that simplicity does not mean less, it means focus. The voids between planes become just as important as the walls themselves. Through this subtraction, the house achieves a purity that allows inhabitants to contemplate, reflect, and simply be. The structure is composed of two intersecting volumes, one that stretches horizontally like a line drawn across the landscape, and another that rises vertically like a meditation tower. These volumes appear to float, achieved through careful cantilevering and foundational manipulation that makes the heavier elements seem suspended in light. The horizontal block aligns with the terrain and captures panoramic views of the natural surroundings, while the vertical volume pierces the sky, offering stillness at height. Together, they create an architectural rhythm, one grounded, one elevated, mirroring the duality between earth and air, presence and transcendence. A quiet tension exists between the exterior and interior materials. Outside, the house speaks in raw tones, untreated concrete, charred timber, and oxidized metal, all celebrating imperfection and endurance. These elements anchor the home within its landscape, giving it a timeless, almost monolithic quality. Inside, however, the experience softens. Surfaces transition to polished plaster, warm birchwood, and white stone. Light plays across these planes gently, shifting with the passing day. The contrast is intentional, a dialogue between the harshness of the world and the tenderness of inner life. It's a material story of transformation and retreat. The journey through the home unfolds like a cinematic sequence. One enters through a narrow stone corridor that opens into a luminous courtyard, a sudden transition from dark to light, weight to air. Movement through the house is not dictated by corridors, but by layers of space, each unfolding into the next with a sense of discovery. Rooms are connected not only visually, but atmospherically. Transitions are marked by thresholds, natural light shifts, and subtle floor-level changes. Every space encourages slowness, asking its inhabitants to move with intention, to dwell rather than pass through. Nature is not merely seen from this house. It is curated, framed, and sometimes even brought inside. Strategic openings present views as if they were living paintings. A slender vertical slit captures the silhouette of a distant pine. A full-height window dissolves the boundary between interior and forest. Small inner courtyards introduce air, sound, and scent into the core of the home. These design gestures elevate nature to the level of sacred presence. The architecture doesn't dominate the landscape, it bows to it, embracing its cycles, allowing the weather, light, and seasons to become part of daily life. Inside the silent fold, ornamentation is absent, but meaning is everywhere. The walls are free from art, yet shadows themselves become artwork. Furniture is integrated, sculpted into the walls and floors to maintain a continuous visual flow. Hidden storage solutions reduce visual noise. The kitchen is an open monolith of stone. The bedroom is a raised platform surrounded by ambient light. The bathroom is designed as a sanctuary where stone basins and water echo ancient rituals. Every element is a meditation on form and function, where design is not meant to impress, but to disappear into experience. Light is treated as an architectural material, shaping, revealing, and concealing. Carefully placed skylights, perforated screens, and deep-set windows choreograph sunlight to animate the interiors throughout the day. Morning light grazes the east wall with warmth. At noon, sharp beams slice across the white volumes, while evening casts long shadows that stretch the silence of the space. This dynamic interaction with time ensures the house never feels static. It breathes with the day, offering moments of awe to those who are present enough to notice. Light becomes the invisible architecture, always changing, always guiding. While the home draws from international minimalist traditions, it is deeply rooted in local context. Indigenous techniques of thermal massing, ventilation, and spatial hierarchy are embedded into its bones. The layout respects the sun path, prevailing winds, and natural vegetation. Even the proportions are inspired by Vedic geometry, where mathematical harmony aligns with spiritual resonance. This fusion of global design language and local wisdom results in a house that feels both universal and grounded, modern yet timeless. It's not just a shelter, it's a living dialogue between tradition and invention. What makes this house truly profound is not what it shows, but what it makes you feel. There is no grandeur, no architectural ego, only presence. A softness in the way it holds you, an attentiveness in how it responds to your movement, your mood, your silence. It is architecture that listens. For the owner, this is not just a house, it is a companion for solitude, a temple for thought, a cocoon for restoration. Every visitor leaves quieter than they arrived, as if the house gently asked them to remember something they had forgotten in the noise of life. As we close the journey through the silent fold, we are reminded that great architecture doesn't always seek attention, it seeks depth. It dissolves into its environment, into its purpose, and into its silence. This house, inspired by minimalist ideals yet fully its own creation, demonstrates that design is not just about what we build, it's about what we allow ourselves to feel within it. Thank you for joining ALMAZ today in exploring a space where architecture becomes meditation. Don't forget to subscribe as we continue to uncover places where design and soul meet. Until next time, stay inspired and stay still.